Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. As the quarterfinals of the 2018 World Cup begin in Russia today, we have seen teams experience heartaches, disappointment, excitement and fulfillment. We have Arise sports correspondent Aron Akerejola joining us now from Moscow to help break down how proceedings have gone so far. Hi Aron, how has your stay been in Russia so far?
I must say it's been quite splendid. It's been quite eventful and very, very memorable because we have actually experienced the very best of Russia in terms of weather, in terms of cities. Because I must actually say that Russia they really do have good cities from Kaliningrad, where the Super Eagles actually played, to Turkey, where they were actually camped, and also St. Petersburg, which has been a beautiful and a massive delight, down to Moscow, which has just been a haven of historical beauty, I must actually say. It's been fantastic, I must say.
Sounds amazing. So can you summarize the competition leading up to this point?
2018 couldn't have gone any better for the organizers, talking about FIFA, and for all those who have participated at this World Cup. But the only downside to this particular competition was that the African teams, the 5 African teams that actually came to this competition, did not live up to the billing. We expected them to pull their weight, we expected them to at least ruffle a little feathers, but we thought they were going to do that, and they didn't. Although the best performing African teams still remain Senegal, then Nigeria, but nevertheless, they didn't do enough to qualify from the group stages, which everyone felt that they had enough in the tank to actually do that, but they fell short on the day and fell short ultimately in the competition. So all 5 African teams have been out. As it stands right now, is majorly European teams and South American teams. The Asian teams also have not really lived up to the billing, save Japan, who actually got into the round of 16. But ultimately, when they had it in their hands, when they had it in their grip against Belgium, they threw a 2-goal lead to lose that one. And so as it stands right now, it is majorly South American teams and European teams. Also, the North American teams tried to ruffle a little feathers. Costa Rica, Mexico tried their bit, but at the end of the day, they didn't have enough pedigree, they didn't have enough technical ilk to be able to shake this particular World Cup. So it's still down to those perennial customers, as some people would like to put it, that are still at this stage, at this level of competition.
Yes, it's really sad and unfortunate about the African teams, but the quarterfinals begin today. So who are the fan favourites expected to go through and who we can generally expect speaking?
From what should we expect generally from the competition? At this point in time, of course, this is the second phase of the knockout phases of this particular competition. This is where competition gets stiffer. This is where mistakes are more punished. This is where errors are more pronounced, and this is where the pain of actually exiting the competition is even more painful than the first 2 rounds. So teams will be going into this competition knowing that they have a shot in getting into the semifinals, and when you do get into the semifinals, that's a very, very huge opportunity and a big possibility of getting into the finals of this competition. So teams will be going in there. Teams like Brazil, who have been touted as one of the favorites in this competition, will be going into this quarterfinals knowing that if they can win, then that is glory land looking at them. But they go against a very strong Belgian team who also are the dark horses in this competition. Can they win with that very, very energetic and with that very, very lucid side? We have to wait and see. All right, England is another team that a lot of people are beginning to think just maybe that the 3 Lions, this might be their World Cup. Let's see how things actually play out for the 3 Lions of England. They have a very stubborn Sweden to actually progress, to actually overcome if they want to actually get into the semi-finals and maybe even to the finals. So we have some other key teams who will be wanting to do that, especially Russia, the host country. No one would have expected in a million years that Russia would be at the stage of this competition. But whether you like it or not, all right, Cherchesov, talking about Stanislav Cherchesov, the coach of Russia, has done his team proud, has done the nation proud, and the players themselves have carried themselves well, and that is why they're in the quarterfinals. Standing before them is Croatia, and if they can overcome Croatia, then they will be in glory land, if you'd ask me, because trust me, very few teams have hosted the World Cup and have actually gone this far And Russia seem actually under principles of doing that and actually defying every single odd in the book.
Before we let you get back to the game, what players have stood out in the course of the tournament so far, would you say?
Stood out for the right reasons, some have actually stood out for the wrong reasons. But let's actually start it off from the right reasons and would actually started off from home. Without a doubt, Ahmed Musa is one player that's actually made this World Cup his own. This is the second time he's actually gotten 2 goals at the World Cup, which is huge for Africans, which is huge for Nigerians, because there are very few players that can actually say that from the African region that have actually scored 4 goals at the World Cup. So Ahmed Musa is one stand-up player. Certainly, he's gotten quite a lot of accolades. A lot of people have been doing memes about him. A lot of people have been celebrating him, both home and abroad. And I'm sure he's actually a happy man, despite the fact that the Super Eagles couldn't get out of the group stage. Another player that's actually lit up the tournament is the highest goal scorer as we speak. Talking about Hurricane. Hurricane has 6 goals right now. And what makes it very, very remarkable is the fact that Hurricane has actually gotten 6 goals from the 6 shots he's actually taken. So that makes it even exceptionally wonderful for the player, because coming into this World Cup, a young lad who hadn't seen World Cup and who hasn't seen a World Cup before, who doesn't have any World Cup experience under his belt, coming into the World Cup and making it his own. Come on, you have to give it to Hurricane. And another stand-up player has been the Russian Artem Zuba. Coming into the tournament, there were a huge criticism for the coach of Russia. Why was he going to bring in Artem Zuba, who seemed to be spent? But ultimately, the player has proven his worth and has actually galvanized his team and driven Russia to where they are right now. And they will be hoping that if they are to get into anything, if they are to get anything extra from what they've gotten in this tournament already, that is the player to look forward to. Artem Zuba, fantastic player, I must actually say. He's a great player, and he's still going to be one of the fans' favorites leaving this World Cup. I'm sure he's going to be showered with accolades, encomiums, awards after this World Cup, because he and the coach seem to have done wonders for this particular team.
Yeah, thank you, Aron, for your time, and enjoy the rest of Russia. That's all.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure being here and to actually just chip in 1 or 2.
Yes, we love talking to you. Well, that's all from sports correspondent Aron Akerejola from inside Russia. Time now for a short break on the morning show. When we return, we have a special package from President Emmanuel Macron's visit to Nigeria. Stay with us.